When my wife Vanessa and I bought our house in a nice suburban neighborhood, we thought we'd found the perfect place to start our lives together. The house was beautiful, the yard was spacious, and the neighborhood seemed quiet and well kept. We knew there was a homeowners association or HOA, but we didn't think much of it. We figured it was just there to keep things orderly and protect property values. Boy, were we wrong. Within a few weeks of moving in, the HOA started making our lives miserable with a barrage of ridiculous rules. Here are 3 that really pushed us over the edge. No lawn ornaments. We had a small garden gnome that Vanessa's grandmother had given her. It was cute, nostalgic, and harmless. But apparently the HOA had a strict no lawn ornaments policy. They sent us a notice demanding that we remove the gnome immediately or face a fine. We thought it was absurd. What harm could a tiny gnome do? But the HOA insisted that it ruined the aesthetic of the neighborhood. Matching window treatments. The HOA mandated that all homes have matching window treatments visible from the street. We had recently purchased beautiful curtains for our living room, but we had different blinds in the bedrooms. We were informed that we needed to buy new window treatments for the entire house, all matching or face another fine. It was completely unnecessary and expensive, but the HOA didn't care. Weekly lawn inspections. The HOA required that every lawn in the neighborhood be inspected weekly to ensure it was properly maintained. They expected every blade of grass to be uniform in height, the edges perfectly trimmed, and any stray leaves immediately removed. If they found anything out of place, they would issue a citation. It was impossible to keep up with, especially since Vanessa and I both worked full-time and couldn't spend our weekends obsessing over the lawn. Vanessa, who had been so excited about our new home, started to cry almost daily. The constant harassment from the HOA was taking a toll on her mental health. She felt like we couldn't enjoy our own home, and that we were constantly being watched and judged. I hated seeing her so upset, and I knew I had to do something. That's when I had an idea. Vanessa's mother, Karen, had a reputation in the family. She was the type of person you didn't want to cross. She was relentless, stubborn, and always got what she wanted. I had seen her take down customer service reps, landlords, and even a car dealership that tried to overcharge her. Karen had no problem fighting for what she believed in, and she usually won. So I made sure Karen knew what was going on. I mentioned to her how the HOA was making Vanessa's life miserable, and how her daughter was crying every day because of the stress. Karen didn't take it lightly. I could see the fire ignite in her eyes, and I knew the HOA had no idea what was coming their way. Karen moved into action almost immediately. She started by attending every single HOA meeting, where she questioned and challenged every decision they made. She researched the bylaws, found loopholes, and pointed out every inconsistency. If the HOA tried to enforce a rule on us, Karen found a way to push back legally, turning the tables on them. But she didn't stop there. Karen organized other disgruntled neighbors and formed a coalition against the HOA. They began to demand transparency, fair treatment, and even called for the resignation of the HOA president. When the HOA tried to fine us for the gnome, Karen got signatures from half the neighborhood in support of allowing lawn ornaments. When they pushed the window treatment issue, Karen found a clause that exempted certain window styles, which just happened to match our current setup. As for the lawn inspections, Karen argued that they were invasive and unnecessary, and eventually got them reduced to a once-a-month basis. The best part? Karen did all of this with a smile, killing them with kindness, while systematically dismantling their power. It was a sight to behold. Vanessa stopped crying and we began to enjoy our home again. The HOA backed off significantly and their influence over our lives diminished. Now though, I can't help but wonder, am I the asshole for setting my mother-in-law loose on the HOA? Sure, it solved our problems, but it also caused a lot of chaos in the neighborhood. Some of the other residents, who had been fine with the HOA's strict rules, were now annoyed that things had changed. And I'm sure the HOA members themselves hate us even more now. Did I go too far by unleashing Karen? Or was I justified in doing whatever it took to protect my wife and our home?